everyone, a very warm welcome to Smiley Kids channel. Today we're going to see quadratic equations exercise 4.2. So let's quickly jump into the video. Question number 1. Find the roots of the following quadratic equations by factorization. In that we have the first sub-question as x squared minus 3x minus 10. So here we're going to use the factorization method or simply splitting the middle term method. Now, this method says that you're going to multiply a and c first. Now, what is a and c in this particular equation? Well, you must know that the quadratic equation is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. And in this ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0, we have a as 1 in our given equation and c as minus 10. You must always remember to even count the sign. Here we have minus 10 and not 10. So the value of c is minus 10 and the value of a is 1. So a into c according to this question is minus 10. Now once you find out a into c, which is equal to minus 10, now try to find out the factors of minus 10 so that you're going to equate it to minus 3x. Now let's suppose say my factors of minus 10 are 5 into 2. Let's suppose consider it as minus 5 into 2, then we're going to acquire minus 10. Now, these are my factors minus 5 and 2. Now I'm going to simply write minus 5 and 2 like this. And I'm going to equate them to minus 3, which is my value of b over here in the question. Right. Now I'm simply going to put either plus or minus. So first let me check out with plus. Right. So minus 5 plus 2 will give you minus 3 equals to minus 3. So our definite values will be minus 5 and 2. Let's suppose I consider minus 5 minus 2 equal to minus 3. This is minus 7, which is not equal to minus 3. I want such values and such factors of minus 10 which together require me minus 3 so that I can simply split the middle term. And this procedure is same for any type of quadratic equation by factorization. First, we have simply find out the values of a into c. A into c gave us 10. So wait, a into c gave us 1 into minus 10, which is minus 10. Now, once you got the value of a into c, then you're going to acquire the factors of the value you got. Now, here we got minus 10, so I have acquired the factors of minus 10. And I observe that minus 5 and 2 are some factors which are giving me minus 3. And I have added and subtracted as well. But when I subtracted, I did not get the accurate answer. So I have taken the addition one, which is minus 5 plus 2. Now further, we're going to split the middle term. We're going to write x squared minus 5x plus 2x minus 10. What did we do? We knew that minus 3x can be acquired by minus 5x plus 2x. Isn't it? That is what we have done by finding out the factors of minus 10. Now, we got this particular equation. Now, in this particular equation, we have 4 terms, isn't it? So, I consider the first one and the second set like this. Now, in the first set, we have x squared minus 5x. Out of x squared minus 5x, I'm going to take x common. I'll be left out with x minus 5 in the brackets, isn't it? Then, in the second set, I'm going to take 2 common out of it. So, I'll be left out with x minus 5 in the brackets. And if you observe, x minus 5 is common in both the sets, isn't it? X minus 5 and x minus 5. So, I'm going to take out x minus 5 common and we're left out with x plus 2. So x plus 2 equals to 0. Now equate each one off to 0. So we have x minus 5 equal to 0. X is equal to 5. And x plus 2 is equal to 0. X is equal to minus 2. So what are the roots of this particular quadratic equation, x square minus 3x minus 10 equal to 0? Well, the roots are 5 and minus 2 respectively. Moving ahead, we have 2x squared plus x minus 6. Well, again, we're going to find out the same procedure. First, a into c, which is going to give me 2 into minus 6, which is minus 12. Isn't it? The value of a is 2 and the value of c is minus 6, which in turn will give me minus 12. Now, we're going to find out the factors of minus 12. Let's suppose say my factors are 6 and 2. Let's say minus 6 and 2. So minus 6 plus or minus 2 is gonna acquire me 1. Is it possible? Well, let me try it out. So minus 6 plus 2 will give me minus 4, which is not equal to 1. Let me try it out by subtracting. Minus 6 minus 2 is equal to 1. We'll be left out with minus 8, which is not at all equal to 1. So in any of the cases, the minus 6 and 2 are not giving me the right answers. So now I'm going to move on and check with the next set of factors. Well, let me consider minus 3 into 4. Is it going to work? Well, minus 3 plus minus 4 must give me 1. Let me try it out with addition first. So minus 3 plus 4 will give you 1, which is equal to 1. So my accurate factors over here are minus 3 and 4 respectively. Now, I'm going to split the middle term accordingly. So here I have 2x squared plus x minus 6 equal to 0, which in turn I'm going to write it as 2x squared plus 4x minus 3x minus 6 equal to 0. Now divide it into sets. We have set 1 and set 2. Now in set 1, I can take out 2x common, isn't it? And I'll be left out with x plus 4, x plus 2 in the brackets because I've taken 2 common as well, isn't it? So this in turn, let me just check it out. This 2x into x will give you 2x squared and 2x into 2 will give you 4x. In that way, we have split the middle term. Now, in the second set, I can take out minus 3 common. In the brackets, I'll be left out with x plus 2. Now, you might ask me, minus 3 into x is minus 3x and minus 3 into 2 is minus 6, isn't it? So, we are good to go. Now, equate them to 0. We're able to see x plus 2 and x plus 2 as common. So let me put it down like this. X plus 2 common. And then we have 2x minus 3. So 2x minus 3. Equate both of them to 0. You get x plus 2 is equal to 0. Then x will be equal to minus 2. 2x minus 3 equal to 0. X will be equal to 3 upon 2. Therefore, the roots of this particular quadratic equation are minus 2 and 3 by 2 respectively. Moving on, we have root 2x squared plus 7x plus 5 root 2 equals to 0. Again, a into c. What is a over here? Well, a over here is root 2 and c over here is 5 root 2 exactly. Now here I have 5 into 2, which is going to give me 10. Now I'm going to acquire the factors of 10. So the factors of 10 would be 5 into 2, well obviously. And let me try this out. 5 plus 2 is going to give me 7. In the sense, I can take out addition or subtraction first, right? So 5 plus or minus 2 should give me 7. Because here what do I have in the middle term? I have 7x, isn't it? So now, first let me try it out with addition. So I have 5 plus 2 equal to 7, 7 equal to 7. Well, we are good to go. We can have 5 and 2 as our factors, right? And we're going to choose addition. So this is how we're going to split the middle term. Root 2 x square plus 5x plus 2x plus 5 root 2 equal to 0. Now let me arrange these terms in such a way where I can have a easier calculation. Let me write this down as root 2x square plus 2x plus 5x plus 5 root 2 equals to 0. Now in further simplification, I can take out something common out of both the sets, isn't it? In set 1, I'll be taking out root 2 common. So I'll be left out with, let me take out root 2x common, isn't it? So I'll be left out with what? I'll be left out with x plus root 2 in the brackets plus, in the set 2, I'm going to take out 5 common. So I'll be left out with x plus root 2 in the brackets and I'm going to equate them to 0. Now we're going to take out x plus root 2 common in both of the cases. And then we have root 2x plus 5. So root 2x plus 5. And let me equate both of them to 0 again. So here x plus root 2 equals to 0. X will be equal to minus root 2. And again we have root 2x plus 5 equal to 0. X will be equal to minus 5 upon root 2. So what are the roots of this particular quadratic equation? Minus root 2 and minus 5 upon root 2 are the roots of this particular quadratic equation. Moving on, we have 2x square minus x plus 1 by 8 equal to 0. And such problems are very time consuming if you follow the method of a into c, that is equal to 1 by 8 into 2, which is 1 by 4. And finding the factors of this time consuming fractions will be far more difficult. So now here we're going to apply a simpler trick. Since we have the denominator as 8 and we just want to eliminate this denominator, we're going to multiply the entire equation with 8. So this turns out to be 16x square minus 8x plus 1 equals to 0. Now this is a simpler quadratic equation we acquired. Now a into c will give you 16. And the factors of 16 would be 4 into 4, 2 into 8 and so on. But I feel that 4 into 4 is accurate. Let me just try it out. 4 plus 4 should give me minus 8 because my b over here is minus 8x. But alas, it gives me 8 and not minus 8. So this is not working. Let me try something like this. Minus 4 should give me minus 8. Well, yes, it does give me minus 8. So I'm going to simplify it like this. 16x squared minus 4x plus 1 equals to 0. Now I'm going to take something common out of both the sets. Right. So in the first one, I'm going to take out 4x common. So I'll be left out with 4x minus 1 in the brackets. And in the second one, I'm going to take out minus 1 common and I'll be left out with 4x minus 1 again in the brackets. Now, 4x minus 1 is common in both the cases, isn't it? And again, I have 4x minus 1. So 4x minus 1. Now, both of them must be equated to 0. So 4x minus 1 equal to 0. X is equal to 1 by 4, isn't it? X is equal to 1 by 4. On the other hand, again we have 4x minus 1 equals to 0. Again we have x is equal to 1 upon 4. Here the roots are equal. Moving on, we have 100x square minus 20x plus 1 equal to 0. So here my a into c is 100. So what factors can we have in order to get minus 20? That is the value of b in order to complete our splitting of middle term method. So here I can have 50 into 2 And they can have 20 into 5, or simply you can have 10 into 10, and so on. But here I can find that 10 into 10 is far more accurate than any of them. So my splitting of middle term will look like this: 100x squared minus 10x minus 10x plus 1 equal to 0. And I have the sets yet again. On further simplification, I acquire 10x common, and I'll be left with 10x minus 1. And on the other hand, I can take out minus 1 common, and here I'll be left out with 10x minus 1 yet again, and I'm going to equate them to 0. So here 10x minus 1 equal to 0, right? And again we have 10x minus 1 equal to 0. Here x will be equal to 1 upon 10. Yet again here we have x equal to 1 upon 10, similar to the previous question. Well, yet again the roots are equal. Therefore the roots of 100x squared minus 20x plus 1 equal to 0 are 1 by 10 and 1 by 10 respectively. Well, let's move on to question number 2. John and Jivanti together have 45 marbles. Both of them lost 5 marbles each, and the product of the number of marbles they now have is 124. We would like to find out how many marbles they had to start with. Well, let us assume that the number of marbles with John be x. So John presently have x marbles. Now, in the question, it is clearly given that the number of marbles John and Jivanti together have are 45. That means the number of marbles with John and Jivanti are 45. And we have assumed that the number of marbles with John are x. So x plus Jivanti, that means how many ever the marbles Jivanti have, equals to 45. So when I transpose this x to the other side, it turns out to be 45 minus x, isn't it? So the number of marbles with Jivanti are 45 minus x. Now this was our condition 1. The condition 2 says that both of them lost 5 marbles each. So now John initially had x marbles. When he lost 5 marbles, he will have x minus 5 marbles with him. And what about Jivanti? Jivanti will have 45 minus x minus 5 marbles with her. Well, Jivanti initially had 45 minus x marbles. When she lost 5 marbles, she'll be having 45 minus x minus 5. I have simply subtracted 5 marbles from the initial marbles of John and Jivanti. Now it has been said that both of them lost 5 marbles each, and the product of the number of marbles they now have is 124. That means when they lost 5 marbles each, the product of the marbles with them is 124. That means x minus 5 multiplied with 40 minus x equals to 124. Now where did this 40 minus x come from? We initially saw that the number of marbles with Jivanti are 45 minus x minus 5. So what is 45 minus 5? It is 40. So it's going to be 40 minus x marbles. Now the product of their marbles is 124. On further simplification, we tend to get x into 40 minus x minus 5 into 40 minus x, which is equal to 124. Alright, now we're going to simplify this further. 40x minus x square minus 200 plus 5x equals to 124. This turns out to be minus x square plus 45x minus 200. Because here we have 40x plus 5x. This turns out to be 45x. So minus x squared plus 45x minus 200 is equal to 124. Now, here if you observe, we have minus sign for x square. So in order to eliminate that, I'll transpose this entire LHS to RHS so that I can proceed with the further simplification. At the same time, I can eliminate this minus sign. So it turns out to be 124 plus x square minus 45x plus 200 equals to 0. Now, what is 124 plus 200? It is x square minus 45x plus 324 equals to 0. So this is the quadratic equation. Now we are going to solve this quadratic equation and find out the solution. Now again we're going to follow the same procedure. A into C turns out to be 324. And for this the accurate factors would be 36 into 9. So let's place it over here and split the middle term. X square minus 36x minus 9x plus 324 equals to 0. Now, I'm going to take something common out of it. So we have x into x minus 36 minus, here I'm going to take out 9 common. So I'll have x minus 36 in the brackets equals to 0. Now I'm going to equate each of the common ones to 0. So I'll be having x minus 36 equal to 0, x is equal to 36. And x minus 9 equal to 0, x equals to 9. So what are the roots? The roots are 36 and 9. This question is very interesting. A cottage industry produces a certain number of toys in a day. The cost of the production of each toy was found out to be 55 minus the number of toys produced in a day. On a particular day, the total cost of the production was rupees 750. We would like to find out the number of toys produced on the day. So the question is asking us to find out the number of toys produced on that day. So let the number of toys produced on that day be X toys. Well, let's have a look at the question again. It says that the cost of the production of each toy was found out to be 55 minus the number of toys produced on that day. Here we have assumed that the number of toys produced on that day is X. And the cost of the production will be what? The cost of production will be 55 minus the number of toys produced on that day. That means it's going to be 55 minus X. That is because we assume the fact that the number of toys produced on that day as X. So the cost of production according to the question will be 55 minus the number of toys produced on that day. So it's going to be 55 minus X. Now, moving on to the next part of the question, we say that on a particular day, the total cost of production was rupees 750. Now, what will be the total cost? It turns out to be X into 55 minus X. Isn't it? The number of toys multiplied by the cost of production. And in the question it's clearly mentioned that this will be equal to what? 750. Upon simplifying this, we'll be able to acquire our quadratic equation. So this turns out to be 55x minus x square equals to 750. On further simplification, we get 750 plus x square minus 55x equals to 0. This means in standard form, x square minus 55x plus 750 equals to 0. Now we are supposed to find out the root of this particular quadratic equation. Now again, we're going to follow the same procedure of a into c. A into c turns out to be 750. And the accurate factor for this particular 750 turns out to be 25 times 30. Isn't it? So x square minus 25x minus 30x plus 750 equals to 0. Now, I'm going to take x common in the first one. It turns out to be x into x minus 25. And in the second one, I'm going to take out 30 common. So in the brackets, I'll be left out with x minus 25. Now equate both of them to 0. X minus 25 equal to 0. X equals to 25. And x minus 30 equals to 0. X equals to 30. So what are the roots of this particular quadratic equation? The roots are 25 and 30. Moving on to question number 3. Find two numbers whose sum is 27 and product is 182. Now let us assume one number as x. Let us assume that one number is x. And it is mentioned in the question that the sum of two numbers is 27. So here x plus some other number, right? X plus some other number will give you what? Will give you 27 as the sum. That is the condition given in our question, isn't it? Then what will be the other number? Other number turns out to be 27 minus x. If I shift this plus x to the other side, it turns out to be minus x. So the other number is 27 minus x. If one number is x, then the other number is 27 minus x. Now, have a look at the next part of the question. Their product is 182. That means one number is x, the other number is 27 minus x. Their product, that is x into 27 minus x, is 182. On simplifying this further, you will get our quadratic equation. So we get 27x minus x square is equal to 182. This turns out to be 182 plus x square minus 27x equals to 0. On further transforming this to the standard form, we get x square minus 27x plus 182 equals to 0. Now we'll be finding out the roots of this particular quadratic equation. So a into c is 182. Now the factors would be 13 and 14. The accurate factors would be 13 and 14. So on further simplification, we get x square minus 13x minus 14x plus 182 equals to 0. Now take out something common of both the sets. We get x into x minus 13 minus 14 into x minus 13 equals to 0. x minus 14 equals to 0, x is equal to 14. X minus 13 equals to 0, x is equal to 13. Now we acquired two numbers, isn't it? Now let's say one number is 13. One number is 13. Then the other number would be what? Other number would be 27 minus x, which is 27 minus 13, which is 14. Isn't it? If one number I assume it as 13, the other number would be 14. But at the same case, if I say one number is 14, then the other number will be what? Other number will be 27 minus 14, which is equal to 13. Isn't it? Hence, the two numbers are 13 and 14. Moving on, we have find two consecutive positive integers, sum of whose squares is 365. Now, if I assume one number as x, then the other number will be x plus 1, isn't it? Because they are saying that the numbers are consecutive in nature. Now, if I say one number is 10, the other number will be 10 plus 1, which is nothing but 11. And 10 and 11 are consecutive positive integers, isn't it? So, the same logic has been applied in this question. If I say that one number is x, the other number would be x plus 1. Moving on to the second part of the question, we have sum of whose squares is 365. Now, squares of these numbers is nothing but x square, and we are applying addition, isn't it? Sum means addition. So, x square plus x plus 1 whole square is equal to 365, because sum of the squares of these numbers is 365 according to the question. This turns out to be x square plus 1 square, which is 1, plus 2x equals to 365. This has been simplified by a plus b whole square formula, which is a square plus b square plus 2ab. Now, x square plus x square is 2x square plus 2x plus 1 minus 365 equals to 0. This turns out to be 2x square plus 2x minus 364 equals to 0. Now I'm going to divide this entire equation by 2 in order to simplify this, isn't it? So I'll get x square plus x minus 182 equals to 0. This is a quadratic equation. Using factorization method, we're going to find out the roots of this particular quadratic equation. So here we have minus 14 into 13 as our accurate roots. This is going to be x square minus 13x plus 14x minus 182 equals to 0. Now I'm going to take something common out of both the terms. We have x square minus 13x, in that we have x common, so x into x minus 13 plus 14 into x minus 13 equals to 0. Now x minus 13 equals to 0, x is equal to 13, right? And x plus 14 equals to 0, x is equal to minus 14. Now here we have two values. Which value should I choose? Well, have a look at the question. We want a positive integer. So 13 is positive. So we're going to reject the value of x is equal to minus 14. We're going to take x is equal to 13. Then if one number is 13, the other number will be what? The other number will be 14, isn't it? Because 13 plus 1 is equal to 14. The altitude of a right triangle. Let's have the right triangle. Right, this is the right angle. Right. Now, the altitude of the right triangle is 7 centimeters less than its base. Now let me assume that base is equal to x centimeters. Now when base is equal to x centimeters, what will be the altitude? Altitude will turn out to be x minus 7 centimeters, because according to the question, the altitude of the right triangle is 7 centimeters less than its base. So altitude will be x minus 7 centimeters if base is equal to x centimeter, isn't it? Then we have if the hypotenuse is 13 centimeter. Okay. So other information we got over here is hypotenuse is 13 centimeter. All done. Now our triangle is good to go. We have base as x centimeter, the altitude as x minus 7 centimeter, and the hypotenuse as 13 centimeter. Now how are we going to find the other two sides? We are going to apply the Pythagoras theorem here. Using Pythagoras theorem, we have base square plus altitude square is equal to hypotenuse square. So it's going to be x square plus x minus 7 whole square equals to 13 whole square. This turns out to be x square plus x square minus 14x plus 49 equals to 169. On further simplification, we get 2x square minus 14x minus 120 equals to 0. I have transposed this plus 169 to the other side. It turns out to be minus 169. Now, I'm going to divide this entire quadratic equation by 2 in order to simplify this. So, this turns out to be x square minus 7x minus 60 equals to 0. So, this is the quadratic equation. Now we're going to find out the roots of this particular quadratic equation by factorization method. A into c is minus 60. So can we have minus 12 into 5? Well, obviously yes. Now on further simplification of this particular quadratic equation, we get x square minus 12x plus 5x minus 60 equals to 0. Now here I can take out x common, x into x minus 12 plus here I can take out 5 common, 5 into x minus 12 equals to 0. Now I'm going to equate both of them to 0. X plus 5 is equal to 0, x is equal to minus 5. X minus 12 is equal to 0, x is equal to 12. Now which value should I choose? Well, I'll definitely choose the positive value because x is the base of the triangle, which cannot be negative, isn't it? So the base will be x, which is 12 centimeter. And what about the altitude? Altitude is x minus 7. So 12 minus 7, which is equal to what? 5 centimeters, isn't it? So the base is 12 centimeter, hypotenuse is 13 centimeters, and altitude is 5 centimeters respectively. Yet again, we have an interesting question which says, a cottage industry produces a certain number of pottery articles in a day. It was observed on a particular day that the cost of production of each article in rupees was 3 more than twice the number of articles produced on that day. If the total cost of production of articles on that day was rupees 90, find the number of articles produced and the cost of each article. Now let the number of articles produced be x. Number of articles produced be x, isn't it? And we also know that the cost of production in rupees was 3 more than twice the number of articles produced on that day. That means the cost of production will be what? The cost of production turns out to be 2x plus 3. Because the cost of production was 3 more than twice the number of articles produced on that day. 3 more than twice the number of articles. We know that articles are x. Twice means 2 times x plus 3 because it is 3 more than twice the number of articles. Now, we also know the fact that the total cost of production, right, will be equal to number of articles produced multiplied with the cost of production of each article. Now here we know that the number of articles produced are x. The cost of production of each article is 2x plus 3. Now what will be the total cost of production means number of articles produced times the cost of production of each article. Now we know that the total cost of production on that day was 90. So 90 is equal to x into 2x plus 3. Right. That means the total cost of production on that day was 90. And we also know the fact that the total cost of production is equal to the number of articles produced multiplied with the cost of production of each article. So I've just substituted the values in this particular formula. Right. So 90 is equal to 2x square plus 3x. Now in standard form it is 2x square plus 3x minus 90 equals to 0. So this is a quadratic equation. Now we're going to factorize it. A into C is equal to minus 180. So this turns out to be 12 minus 12 and 15, isn't it? Now 2x square plus 15x minus 12x minus 90 equals to 0. Now I'm going to take out x common in the first one. So 2x plus 15 in the brackets. Then in the second one I'm going to take out 6 common. So it is 2x minus 15. It's going to be 2x plus 15, isn't it? Then equate it to 0. So x minus 6 equal to 0. X is equal to 6. And on the other hand I have 2x plus 15 equal to 0. X is equal to minus 15 upon 2. Now which value should I choose? Am I going to choose 6 or minus 15 by 2? Well, the x value over here is the number of articles produced. And the number of articles produced will never be in the form of fraction or in the negative form, isn't it? So the number of articles produced are 6. So number of articles produced are 6. And what is the cost of each article? The cost of each article is 2x plus 3, isn't it? So 2 into 6 plus 3, which is equal to what? 12 plus 3, which is equal to rupees 15, isn't it? So the cost of each article is rupees 15, whereas the number of articles produced on that day were 6. Well, that brings us to the extreme end of this video, and please do subscribe to our channel Smiley Kids for latest updates. Thank you so much.